Yeah, man. I think it's a lot of positive energy going around the facility. Guys are excited about us moving forward. You know, we finally got some confidence as a unit and as an offense, both one and the same, playing complementary football, man. So we're excited moving forward. I think you kind of hit it on the head, man. With us being a young team, essentially with young at a lot of positions, giving those guys that extra confidence is knowing that if you come to work every day, you can stack wins on top of each other. And unfortunately, in the weeks past, that hadn't been the case. But last week, finally got over that hump, and now, man, we got a lot of confidence moving forward, going into any team in the nation. Honestly. I think you got to credit both our players and our coaches, man. Our players played really hard. You know, they were relentless in attacking the pass rusher. I mean, relentless in the pass rushing. We had a good scheme. I mean, we know what their linemen were susceptible to in the pass rush game. I mean, they weren't pretty good at picking up a lot of different packages that we had planned for the week. So both the staff and the players, man, alone, we got to give both credit to both.
You hear a lot of the word coverage sack, and I would assume in the
Yeah.
secondary, you guys like hearing that too. 5 sacks in the game last week. Just from what we were watching, it looked like a few of those were coverage sacks.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of it, dog. Like playing football, man. Rush and coverage work together. I know any defensive coordinator always says that, man. If pass rush working, then the coverage working, and if you doing both and one and the same, man, you'll come out with sacks or turnovers. Yeah. For one, I think it's guys' effort and guys want to. Guys want to be better. And like a lot of people know, we have younger guys. I mean, so they're eating that stuff up that the coaches give them. I mean, and us coming to work every day, man. And like I said, those coaches, man, our staff and the support system does a great job in preparing this for opponents and keeping it in a simple scheme to where it looks very diverse when we're out there on the field, man. So you got to credit those guys giving us a system and a scheme to work with, and younger players eating it up.
Obviously, North Dakota is an unfamiliar opponent for us, for the past few years. But I mean, there's five games of tape on them. So
Yeah.
what do you see with the Fighting Hawks?
So I think one thing about Missouri Valley Conference, a lot of teams have great traditions, and I know they're outside of our conference being put in our conference this year. I mean, it's evident that they have pretty good tradition going to the playoffs year in and year out. So we know it's going to be a dogfight, and we compete at practice and try to keep that same competitive edge at practice in order to prepare us for Saturday. So we're looking for a good game on Saturday, man, and we know we have a great team coming in the Stanbach Stadium.
Practice.
100%, man. Repetition is the mother of skill, and for us to get all of these reps, and like I mean, I know I keep harping on it, but like I said, we have those younger guys, and there's nothing that you can simulate like a play-by-play game in order to get those guys those reps. So I mean, it's been great for us to have these extra 8 game seasons instead of just a 15 added spring practice.
I know you're obviously a defender, but I want to ask you about a player on offense.
Uh huh.
Just because I know, Coach Phelps is putting ones against ones,
Uh huh.
sharpen the steel. With Jaleel McLaughlin at running back, he's had a couple breakout games.
Yeah.
We look historically, stacking 100-yard rushing games 3 times hasn't happened for at least 4 years here. So, when you see McLaughlin in practice and when you see what he's doing in the game, what is it that's kind of, separating him from everybody else? Because it seems like he's really, new to the program,
Uh huh.
but making an imprint real quick.
Yeah, and he is new. And one thing that guys love in any team that you go to, guys love a guy that work hard, and that's what Jaleel is. And I think one thing about Jaleel that's keeping Jaleel so productive is Christian Turner. like I said, man, that running back room is a lot of competition in that running back room, and you got to credit both him and Jaleel. Jaleel's a dog, but Christian Turner one's in his own right, keeping that competition moving forward, man. So both of those guys and the coach in that room have those guys coming to work every day competing, and I think that's just showing on Saturdays.
Jaleel, we talked, or excuse me, can I call you Jaleel?
I'll take it.
You guys came close, like I said earlier, to some of those good teams, some of the best teams in the
Uh-huh.
country. Just weren't able to like finish them off.
Uh-huh.
Now that you guys are scoring some points, you got a win under your belt. Do you feel like maybe you can turn that around and pull out these games in the last quarter or second half?
So I'll say one thing about creating a culture, man. Winning becomes a habit, and with us just forming that habit and getting that kind of taste of success, it gives the guys in the locker room that extra motivation to do extra. Hey, we can actually get this win. What else can I do this week? So I think it's just forming that culture and stacking wins on top of wins and going week by week, man, and we'll be victorious.
So what's the biggest difference between now you came in with Bo, but what's the biggest difference between Coach Blaney and Coach Phillips?
Coach Phillips, I mean, coaching styles, and I've been in four different head coaches are people who are in leadership positions, and it's just the way that they lead. You got different leaders. People lead different ways. Some people may lead by love. Some people may lead by another certain way, by disciplines or rules and that nature. And I think Coach Phillips does a great job in relating to his team and knowing exactly what his team needs. Creating those relationships, connecting with his players, and just and creating that trust, because you have trust like players got to. Coaches have to trust players to put us on the field, but players also have to trust coaches in order to play hard enough for them. And I think that's evident in what you're seeing with Coach Phillips and players playing as hard as they can for him.
How do you feel that the team is growing since the beginning of the season?
So as far as physically on the field, we've gotten better with defensively. Maybe it might be our gap assignments, fitting the run the right way, going in coverage, being disciplined on the back end, playing through coverage on offense. It's up front. They've been connecting with each other, and I think they've just been getting that cohesiveness. And somebody said us not having a lot of reps is evident, but like you look at that offensive line, week by week, they get better, just because a lot of those guys hadn't played a full season yet, let alone a full game until these last 4 weeks. So, it's great to just see that exponential growth in the team offensively and defensively. So physically, man, it's just getting those reps, and it's been helping us out.
Last place you played North Dakota was 1962. You been able to find that tape?
No, we haven't found the tape, man, but we was talking about those 60 teams losing to North Dakota earlier in the team meeting. Coach Phillips said he wasn't even born.
Zaire, this year's been different in a lot of ways. It's just weird to have football in spring from my perspective.
Yeah.
But, one of the things that's been really different, not just at Youngstown State, but a lot of schools, is transferring. Guys transferring kind of mid-season, and
Yeah.
that's going to be weird for you guys. A guy who was with you the week before as a starter, he's gone. Like, how do you guys handle that internally?
And internally, man, I think what you got to do is you got to kind of focus on the guys who were in that position group and tell them, hey, man, like it's time to step up. And even you just got to be vocal about it. You can't act like then anything happened. You got to take that within the locker room, talk about it, and establish a culture that's like, hey, man, if you want to leave now, go ahead and leave. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a family environment. If we're going to play for each other, I got to trust that you're going to be here for me. So, and we kind of relay that message within the locker room. And we don't have any hardship, any grudges or anything about people leaving or doing what's best for them. But that's the kind of culture you kind of want to establish if you're going to get in the battle with someone. You want to be able to trust that they're going to be there.